But let's get into this awesome weekend of college basketball here. We're going to start with Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN, Eli and Derek. Number 21, Dayton at Loyola-Chicago. Haslametrics makes this a 3.5-point spread for Dayton as the road favorite, over under of 136.5. Looking at bracketology, projected seeds basically have Dayton right now hovering around a 6, coming off of that 5 line with some recent struggles. In the A-10, this is a big one. Dayton and Loyola tied at 12-3 in the conference, still within reach of Richmond, who's a game ahead atop the A-10 standings. So, Eli, I'll start with you. This is a game you hand-picked out, so what caught your eye?
Yeah, first meeting of the season between these two teams, Loyola-Chicago. Bit of a look-ahead spot at St. Bonaventure, although the Bonnies were favored in that game, and Loyola coming into that game on a 7-game winning streak. Now, you look at this Dayton offense, and yes, they have Deron Holmes, one of the best bigs in college basketball, who can space the floor, not maybe to the extent of P.J. Hall of Clemson, who we just discussed, and Ian Shefflin, for that matter. I can't stop raving about the Tigers if you guys can't tell, but I digress. Back to Dayton, 88th percentile in Division I in three-point attempt rate and efficiency, for that matter. One of the best three-point shooting teams in college basketball, 7th highest three-point clip at 39.7% in the country. And during Loyola's 7-game winning streak, opponents shot just 28.8% from behind the arc. So as you guys can imagine, that ranked in the 99th percentile in college basketball. I know Drew Valentine is a great coach. I've been high on him for a long time, ever since going back to that Loyola Final Four run back in 2017. But they were due for three-point regression. It came a little bit against St. Bonaventure. I expect a heavy dose of it from a Flyers team that, like I mentioned, can space you out. Kobe Brea, top 10 three-point efficiency nationally, and like I hit on too, Holmes can space it. So, Derek, I know we're both Chicagoans. Maybe we would like to have bias towards Loyola if we want to maybe have some hope that the Ramblers can make another deep tournament run. But I think Dayton wins this game. My raw numbers make it around Dayton -4.
Yeah, Loyola, what they do well is defend inside the arc. They are like 5th in 2-point percentage allowed to opponents, but where they lack is that 3-point shooting, and Dayton, like you said, they can space you out really well. All 5 of their starters shoot over 32% from behind the arc. Like, it's insane. But at the same time, Miles Rubin for Loyola, he's one of the best rim protectors in the country. He's 3rd in block percentage, behind Cliff Amori and Josh Morgan. So at the same time, Dayton can space you out, but that's a tough matchup for Deron Holmes, one of the best bigs in the country in Miles Rubin. So, but yeah, I think Dayton ends up winning this game, and they probably end up covering because, like you said, Loyola is due for 3-point regression defensively. They've really been able to benefit those last 7 wins. So I do think Dayton covers this one. So, yeah, lean Dayton here. So,
Eli, I can already see when the brackets come out, Dayton has been ranked most of the year. All the talking heads are going to be all over them as like one of the better mid-major teams in the country. Projected 5 or 6 seed right now. Is this a team you're excited to potentially advance to the second weekend, or do you see some flaws here, big picture?
Yeah, I mean, you look in the context of the A-10, 3rd-rated adjusted defensive efficiency, but overall in Division I, 62nd. They do play at a slow pace, so that could frustrate the opponent if they're proficient in the half court with their 3-point shooting, and Holmes can create a lot of matchup problems like Derek and I both touched on. But teams that can slow you down and have a great defense, those are the teams that I think generate or have, historically generated the most upsets. Because Dayton doesn't have as great of an upside, at least defensively, I'm not super high on them come March Madness. What about you, Derek?
I'm not super high on them either. They rank 349th in D1 in bench minutes. They're not a very deep team. They only play like 6-7 guys. And when you get to the tournament, you need to have a deeper squad than that. I typically like to look for teams that are deeper and go deep, like Auburn. That's one of the deeper teams in the country. Dayton, if they get matched up against a team that runs you off the 3-point line, plays physical with you, that's just going to be tough come tournament time when you don't have much depth. So I don't really have a great outlook for them come tournament time. Maybe they get through the first round of the tournament, but after that, it's kind of hit or miss.